Woo! We're back, baby, and internet hiccup couldn't have come at a better time. We were just about to get into the game, and then we had one of those little tremors, and
it just happens here.
We've got Gunner Optic over here ready to rock and roll, keeping his retinas safe from the radiation of the LCD monitors.
You know what, man? I like them.
Do the gunners actually make a difference?
Dude, you tried. Oh no, it wasn't you. Someone tried them the other day, and like, these are actually really nice.
Dude, they don't fit over my glasses, so I can't. I need prescription gunners, and now
they make those.
Now we're talking.
They're probably about
$1,000 though. Seriously.
I really like them though. It hurts, you know, when you're just like. Honestly, it's like when you stare at a screen for a long time, and your eyes just start hurting. These kind of help with that. I don't know. Maybe I think I'm relying on them now. I have 2 pairs.
Yeah. Jesus, what do you need 2 for?
Well, I had 1 for work and 1 for home.
Why can't you just use the same pair for both?
Because then you have to move them back and forth, and what if you forget them and you want to play Dota? I don't know, man. I had a lot of disposable income at the time.
Jesus. All right. Well, guys, we've got our second best of 2 of the night. Dreamtime versus LGD. LGD went 1-1 against IG. Game 1, they dominated. Game 2, they got dominated. And here up against DT, this is a value bet, I think.
We tried to bet some rares on this because we looked at the odds. It was 66% in favor of LGD, and I don't think there is any way that Dreamtime are going to lose both these games.
Yeah, I really don't think so either. This is a pretty even matchup. I think it's much closer to 50-50. If anything, I'm kind of riding the Dreamtime hype train a little bit.
I'm there.
I don't know. We'll see how it works. Let's hop into this draft, though. We were a little bit slow coming in because, well, you know,
Andrew fucked up everything.
I hit the wrong button. I fat fingered it and was just clicking all over the place.
Oh man.
Oh boy. Oh boy. So here we go. LGD versus DT. Game number 1. LGD opened things up with a Treant Marana set of first picks, and Dreamtime they grab Darkseer as well as the Night Stalker.
Well, Night Stalker's not a hero we've seen a ton of, but there are a couple teams that do favor playing it quite a bit.
Yeah. The second pick, Night Stalker, is a little bit different. I feel like usually when we see Night Stalker, it's like a 4th or 5th pick, kind of one of those pocket strats. He is really good in the mid game. That's kind of where he shines. He's good at diving towers in the early levels because he has a lot of armor to get things started out of the gate, and he's rather tanky in general. The changes tonight in patch 6.80 have altered Night Stalker, I think, for the better.
I agree. I think it's better overall.
It's better overall. It's a little bit different getting things started. That first night is longer, but we see more Night Stalkers just kind of farming through that first night, unless they get something like a double damage, a haste rune. But spending a lot more time farming, getting those core items up, and then really utilizing the second night. And that's where you go ham and pick up all those kills. So.
Yeah, I think it's an adjustment for the better. Just the way it lines up with when you actually have some items. I mean, I think well, the way it used to be, you had to get a very, very good rune to make it happen in that first night. And now you can just sort of farm through it like you were talking about, maybe get, you know, I don't know, depends on the item build you want. There's a lot of options, but it looks like DT have not picked this before, so we'll see how it works out for them.
Wow. No, they have not played any Night Stalker on this patch?
Oh, never mind. That's a lie. That is
okay, they're 3-3 on this patch.
That's just a lie.
Oh, okay.
So, they have played it a couple times, 3-3.
You suck at alphabets, yeah. Okay, gotcha.
I thought for some reason Night Stalker would come after or before Nature's Prophet, and turns out that it doesn't.
No, yeah, wrong vowels. You're almost there, man. Keep it up. So LGD,
maybe next time.
They ban out a couple of supports here, and actually it's a first ban Brew as well as Ancient Apparition from LGD. That's rather interesting. Brewmaster's been the talk of the town, but seeing him first banned is kind of a change of pace. The DT bands looking a little more straightforward. All 4 of them really scary heroes, like in Bat Rider, DK, and the Invoker.
Well, that brew ban aimed squarely at Air. Air has made a huge entrance, a huge splash into the competitive scene, playing the Brewmaster, going super ham, and I think he has done extremely well on that hero recently.
Some of that respect ban coming out here.
Yeah, just complete respect ban. Looking through here, he has got a couple Brewmaster wins. And well,
it's like he actually has been playing Night Stalker pretty recently as well. Some of their
and
games
that's a lot of losses. The last 3 Night Stalker games have been losses.
Damn, so they were on a hot streak, and looks like that streak is cooling down a little bit.
Yeah, they were definitely the hot team at the. And I think going into the China qualifiers, they're pretty favored. This game is going to be a big indication. LGD is one of their biggest opponents, the other one being HGT, who we're going to see next, ZSMJ and CTY's team.
Oh, yeah.
So
ZSMJ, always fun to get a taste of that. Like I mentioned in the second two best of twos tonight, all of these teams are in the qualifier coming up in a couple days, so exciting to get a little taste of what's to come. DT will third picks themselves the Kel'Thuzad, Litchi. And, well, we get to see him again here. Their first support to go with the Night Stalker Darkseer. Looks like they will go with Team Purple/Blue. That's always a good strategy. And LGD, they grab Lifestealer with their third pick. And, you know, Lifestealer is a hero I'm not sold on in this patch, Greg. I'm not completely on board with the Lifestealer. I think he's okay in certain niche lineups, but he really is just a shadow of his former self. I feel like now you need some sort of delivery vehicle, and you have to utilize Infest Bombs. He's not that same just right-click to doom. He certainly can still do a lot of damage, but you need a delivery vehicle. And Mirana, she's not really ideal, so...
No, definitely not, because Mirana leaping into the fight is pretty much the opposite of what you want your Mirana to be doing. She wants to sit in the back, just wail away in team fights, not be diving forward. We'll see what the option is here. They have the Shadow Demon as well, and that seems like a pretty okay pick in this lineup. I mean, we've seen Mirana, Shadow Demon a ton in the America qualifiers, and Lich is a hero, I guess, that the Chinese players are really favoring, and they're sort of reverting back a little bit to their farm and push style. For a while, we had some pretty aggressive Chinese plays, and it seems to be backing off now. Lich, obviously not really a good ganking hero. Not the best.
Yeah, definitely not known for his gank ability. I do like the Morphling pick, though, coming out of Dreamtime.
Yeah, this is a really good pick at the moment. There is nothing to deal with this Morphling right now.
Yeah, absolutely. And I just like the mix of Morphling, their hard carry that can scale really well, and then they've got this Night Stalker, who's a big, meaty presence in the mid-game that can create some space and make things happen. Plus, they've got the Darkseer, who has a nice mix of that scalability as well as mid-game presence. And they have Lich, who, like you mentioned, doesn't gank that well, but can maybe get them a small experience edge. And I always like to point out with Lich, if he can get you experience, but if you can't stay alive in your lane, it gets completely wasted. If you're the opposition of that lane gets a kill on either the Lich or whoever he's supporting, it's kind of all in vain to some degree. But with these heroes like Morphling, Darkseer, Night Stalker, none of them are particularly easy to kill. So I think they'll really see the benefits of that early sacrifice from the Lich. Tide as well as Wisp. The final bans from LGD. Very interesting.
Tidehunter's been pretty good in offlane recently. I think that's really where the hero belongs. There have been a couple teams that have been playing it as a lane support, and I do not like that very much. I think it's a complete waste, and he does pretty well. So I understand this ban. IO ban, he's pretty good with a bunch of these heroes, actually. Morphling, just because you have unbelievable mobility. It's pretty much absurd, and then also pretty good with, of course, the Night Stalker, as well as he's okay with Darkseer as well. So I think this is just a good ban.
Yes, I agree. You'll have to pardon me here as I redo my tweet. This is LGD versus Invictus, or pardon me, Dreamtime, and I had it as Invictus Gaming. I had a dirt moment. They happen from time to time. What are you gonna do? Versus Team Dreamtime. There you go. There you go. Get
LGD,
those retweets going.
Well, looks like they have last picked here a Kunkka. And, well, they've got a lot of setup for Kunkka. I think this could be a pretty powerful pick. Why does this observer think Nyx is going middle? That is certainly not happening. And, well, it's going to be the Kunkka heading up in the mid lane. He should do just fine against Night Stalker. He deals pretty well with the harass from Night Stalker, you know, taking the damage from the voids, and he deals out a little bit of his own. So I think that mid lane should be most. Yeah, they just fail.
I like how they just give up on the map. They're just like,
okay, we lost.
Was that Shadow Demon that they had going mid?
Yeah.
What?
Selfish, dude.
Whatever. I'm not a big fan of that big map of talking about where the lanes are gonna go. It just doesn't. If it's like the players were clicking on there and it was like actual intel of where the teams were saying they were going, it would be useful. But the fact that it's just guessing, I don't really. It's too much real estate on the stream, you know.
Their guess is no better than ours.
Exactly. Well, it takes up a lot of space, and I don't really see the value added there.
I can understand that.
It looks nice, but
well, it's gonna be Air. He's gonna be on the Night Stalker, and We'll see if he can make a show for us, man. He has just had some unbelievably huge amount of hype, and we'll see if he can live up to it, if he can go ham. I'm going to be very interested to see what his item build is here. We've had an unbelievably large array of item builds on this hero. Everything from Armlet to BKB to Ags.
It's unbelievable.
Ags has been pretty good on a lot of people. It's more of a late game luxury item, but it basically just gives you vision hack. So
yeah, Sand King was glowing purple there for a moment, and I was just basking in the glory of Team Purple plus Sand King. But anyhow, let's introduce some rosters here. On the Radiant side, we do have Team LGD. This is Game 1 of this best-of-2 series, our second of the night, and they're up against Dreamtime. In Game 1, they'll be on the Radiant side. It will be DD playing on the Support Treant Protector, DDC playing on the Shadow Demon. That'll be Rabbit here on the Mirana. Of course, it will be Yao on the Admiral Kunkka, and he's got a lot of cosmetics to boot. This is what I'm talking about.
There's a lot of good ones for Kunkka.
Oh, yeah. If you're playing Kunkka and you're not rocking the cosmetics, you're doing something wrong, because he has some of the best cosmetics in the game. I like the Royal Admiral's Bicorn. I don't
Bicorn.
know. Bicorn? I don't know what's going on with that. Anyway, in the off lane, it'll be Lin here playing on the Lifestealer.
All right, and on the other side of things, Dreamtime, the up-and-comer, has become very popular recently. And we'll see how they match up against LGD, giving us a good indication of the TI quals. Coming up, it's going to be Dreamy U on the Sand King. XDD, he's going to be picking up this Morphling. The mid lane Air, as well as Super on the Lich. Air going to be playing the Night Stalker. And all the way down bottom in July on that Darkseer.
Oh man, looks like everyone's very defensive about the large mini map there on the stream. Sorry guys, I didn't mean to insult your pride and glory. I don't like it. I don't like the way Dream League does it either, if that makes you feel any better. Anyway, Haste Rune picked up by DD. The Treant Protector already has Leech Seed skilled, and this could very easily be a first blood. This is where Treant shines. He'll go straight in onto Super. The Torrent connects, and the tree, he doesn't commit for it. I'm a little surprised. I mean, it would have been a risky dive, that's for sure.
He had sacrifice. He can't do anything to you.
Yeah, I mean,
what a waste.
With a Haste Rune, I feel like you go for that. If it's any other rune, maybe not, but just branch him down.
Yeah, I'm totally there, man. Ooh. I can't believe we didn't go with that. We'll see how Lin does in the offlane here for LGD. A little bit unconventional to have the Lifestealer here. He's not really going to be farming very much, so I don't know about this. This seems...
Wow, and he went Feast level 1 as well.
I guess he's going to be kind of jungling a little bit. This is weird.
Well, I mean, the Radiant offlane makes this at least possible.
Yeah,
it's not ideal,
on
but
Dire, this would not be a thing.
It's exactly right. So it is kind of weird seeing him in the offlane. DD will come over and double melee. Not ideal either, but, well, XDD... He can still farm pretty darn well. He's 5-0, and actually still lacking on the last hits a little bit here. The
XCD has no excuse not to get free farm in this lane.
Yeah, Lin is actually now in tower range, so he'll be able to rack up a few less hits of his own, and that'll actually push him ahead in last hits, 7 compared to the 5 of Morphling. So
yeah, it seems like the lanes are already breaking down for both teams here. In July is kind of just wandering around. We might even see him return to the jungle pretty soon. I'm not sure he can go against the Shadow Demon Mirana. It's really a large initiation range. He is going to have Surge, but until that's level 2, I'm not sure that's going to be enough to save him. So, interesting there. And mid lane, we had a little bit of a dual lane. That's broken up. And on the other side, DT still holding up with theirs. Lich is a particularly good dual laner in the mid lane because of Sacrifice. You get a little bit of added XP, a little bit of added value, and they're on par right now with the Kunkka, who's getting already living armored up, but Air seemed to be doing pretty well for himself at 9 last hits.
Yeah, Kunkka's last hit's a little bit lacking as well. Only 5-2 as we're about to approach the 3-minute mark. Nothing groundbreaking, but both sides of this mid lane actually struggling in CS a little bit. Darkseer pretty much getting zoned out at this point, like you mentioned, this scary kill combo. Even though Shadow Demon isn't spending a lot of time in the lane, the fact that he's missing and the fact that there's no dire vision means he could be just sitting on the other side of the tree line, and Darkseer will not risk it for the biscuit. Maybe now that DDC comes towards the mid, if this smoke gets revealed, he'll be able to press forward and find a little bit of farm. But they will make a rotation, looking for setup onto Air. The disruption not only sets up well for the arrow, but also for easy torrents. And
yeah, and already you can see that reflected in the build of Yao. He's put 2 points in torrent. if he didn't have a Shadow Team on his team, there would be 2 points in X. Sets up the Torrent very nicely, and well, this lets him go for a little bit of a greedier build. He's gonna have Soul Catcher as well, so pretty high kill possibility in this lane if they aren't too careful.
Lifestealer taking some damage up top. 1 hit away from the first blood going down, and that'll be it. XDD gets all that bonus gold for himself, and him and Sand King have enough damage. This is the problem with the offlane Lifestealer. LGD right now have both their supports focused around the mid lane, and they're just standing here waiting for this engagement to break out, but it'll cost their Lifestealer his life, and now DT off to a good start. Morphlane might have been a little slow on the CS, but that bonus gold from the first blood will more than make up for it.
Yeah, and Air has gone for a safer build. He's put 1 point in Crippling Fear, so he is going to have that silence. A lot of Night Stalkers don't get that point, which really bothers me, but he has. And top lane trading hit for hit. DD taking a lot of damage, and he's going to go down.
Wow.
Tried to armor himself rather at the end there, and that just looks like it's blown up.
I mean, I know his name is DD, and picking up a DD rune probably went to his head a little bit there, but I mean, he just walked up and tried to branch the Morphling, got stunned, and that was just the easiest kill that DT will probably find this game.
Yeah, XDD is super morphed, and he's already got 80 damage, so don't want to mess with that in combination with Waveform.
Well, that, and you don't really want to feed the Morphling. The
yeah.
problem with Morphling is that it takes him a while to come online. He needs a lot of core items, and he doesn't farm particularly fast, at least at the early levels. You feed him a first blood and a kill after that in the first 5 minutes, and, well, that solves some of the woes of the Morphling. He's now number 2 on net worth, just a couple hundred gold behind the Mirana, and he's in great shape. Now it's even easier for him to try and zone out this Lifestealer. To be fair, though, Lin is level 5 and doing very well compared to his Darkseer counterpart here in the bottom lane.
This has worked really well. I'm a little surprised that this sentry definitely does not block this camp, and I'm a little surprised that DT just haven't blocked this camp for themselves, because it's really the only way that Snakes is going to get in this.
Down bottom, and he'll get the surge off, but gets hit by the arrow straight away. The Soul Catcher making that kill so easy for LGD. They'll get their first one on the board here as Rabbit secures the last hit with that Star Storm.
Yeah, only 1 point in Surge, and honestly the second point would not have helped him there. Good initiation by Rabbit, and I like this build. He has 2 points in Arrow. You get twice as much damage. It scales very well at level 2, and now he's just going to continue and max out the Star Storm. This is probably the most efficient build for the carry. It lets you still get some pretty easy kills with that Shadow Demon, but still maximizing the Star Storm damage. So
yeah,
I'm a big fan of that one.
Absolutely. The potent duo proved successful here in this match. Aquila Boots Bottle picked up on the Morphling, so he'll be bottling away up here in the top lane, at least for now. His supports have retreated to the jungle. Dreamy U on this Sand King, capitalizing on that farming prowess of the Sandstorm. He is level 5 with 3 points in Burrow Strike, so not going the hard farming Sand King build we've seen some players favor, but he's still doing very well. He's been very active. He's been involved in both kills that have come out, and we're looking at probably a 9-minute blink or so, maybe 10 minutes, depending on how much time he spends focused on farming versus ganking. Doesn't have any stacks up right now, but we'll get to it right as we speak.
Yeah, this is a pretty well farming Sand King. The problem here is that the Darkseer is kind of stuck in this bottom lane because of the Sand King. He can't go into that lane, or into the jungle rather, and steal some of that farm, because the Sand King really needs the blink. Sand King without blink is a pretty awful hero, so they're going to want to get that online as soon as possible.
Yeah, definitely. That is one of the problems where he wants to take over the jungle, and they have enough space that I think In July could actually retreat to the jungle and utilize this half of it, take the easy camp,
yeah, that's true.
This hard camp here, and it could be something, but he's getting a little bit in this bottom lane. He's halfway through level 4 and has his soul ring up, so it's something, and he's still doing well, considering that Shadow Demon Mirana is a very scary kill duo. Looks like they will rendezvous in the bottom, though. We're at the tail end of the first night, and Era wants to try and make something happen. He is now level 6, does have that first point in darkness. They're smoked up, ready to kill.
Yeah, he's actually CS'd quite well. Kunkka getting shut down by this dual lane, and, well, they're going to look for a kill here, and they might find one on DD.
Yeah, he'll be in the wrong place at the wrong time. So much damage coming his way. Moonlight Shadow gets deployed, but won't be close to enough to keep him alive. Sentry comes down. Sand King gets hit by the disruption. Arrow coming from downtown, hits Dreamy U. Soul Catcher online as well. He's got teammates around, but they'll abandon. And that will be a 1-for-1. Support for support.
A little surprised they didn't, DT didn't go a bit harder there. They had the sentry over here, so they knew exactly what was going on with that Moonlight Shadow gank, and I thought maybe they would turn this back around, but they instead just leave their support to die.
Yeah.
And that's really bad because he didn't have his Blink Dagger yet.
Yeah, I mean, Night Stalker still had plenty of time left on his ultimate. He popped the Darkness, so... oh, Kunkka actually misses the Torrent. The boat will actually miss Super as well. That would have been a kill on the Lich if either of those had connected, I think. But
that's bad.
It'll be a whiff coming out of Biao. That is definitely rough for
Radiant's
LGD.
top tower is under
Super going to
attack.
heal up. Air conveniently had a salve left. Double damage for Air as well, so if anyone gets too close, he'll be able to punch him pretty easily and do a lot of damage. And yeah, I was taking a lot of harass now that Air is leveled up, 3 levels in Void. That's a pretty annoying nuke. Kunkka doesn't have a ton of HP, so it's not that bad, but he has to be careful still.
Yeah, Kunkka is one hero better suited to deal with the pressure of the Night
Dire's
Stalker,
bottom
but
tower is under
he is
attack.
really scary in these early levels. 7 armor, 900 hit points with only 2 branches. He's just one tanky mother. Up top, speaking of tanky, ooh, XDD probably could have secured a kill onto DD, but had to wait for him defensively. TP's coming in, and now he is in deep doo-doo. They will capitalize on his hyper-aggression, and LGD tied up now 3 apiece.
And Morphling getting punished for waveforming forward there. Definitely an over-aggressive play. Could have been rewarded, but that's a little sad for him. I mean, he's still farming well. 42 last hits, 2 kills.
Marana is out farming him, though.
Yeah,
She's
I'm a
at
little surprised
59.
his CS isn't higher.
And a Hand of Midas on the Marana. So Rabbit is going for that position 1, hard farming Marana. Morphling, he did not go the Midas route. Aquila into Power Tread. So going to go straight up with a little bit more of a mid-game focus. Uh-oh, Super. Gets X.
Oh, what
Torrent,
a combo.
into Arrow, and more than enough to bring him down. Marana gets another one up on the board.
That was a nice arrow to stack on top there, make sure he couldn't run away. And I like this position 1 Marana with the Kunkka in the mid lane as well, because he's capable of putting out a lot of physical damage, so it's not like it's a solo core. It seems pretty good. And I also understand why XCD didn't go for Midas. I mean, when you go for that Midas, it takes so long for you to do anything on this hero, and sometimes that's just not acceptable, and they think that there might be a bit of pressure coming their way. He also wants to be able to contribute a little bit more right click, so he grabs that Aquila. It's okay. I can definitely understand why he goes for that. It's just like delaying. It delays your first item by a lot.
Yeah, and I think this second night will be really crucial for Dreamtime. We're coming up on it, and Night Stalker didn't get too much accomplished in the first night. He got that 1 assist from rotating down bottom. Not bad, but not particularly great either. I think they need to either try and force a tower, force out some sort of a fight while they have that edge.
And they have the blink now up on Sand King. It's around 11 minutes.
Great timing.
Slower than he would want because of that death down bottom, but still pretty good. And this night I think should go pretty well for them. They've got a pretty huge advantage. They have the Chain Frost. Doesn't look like they're going to have vacuum.
Morphling. He'll try and finish off this tower. He does waveform back, but he'll be okay. That was a fail boat, says Kunkka, as Morphling does hop to the replicate.
Sand King's up here. He has Epi. I don't think he can go on this. These heroes are way too tanky. They better be careful. Not if he gets Shadow Poison, that could be ugly, but yeah, looks like they have no idea he's there.
He blinks a little bit deeper into the trees, and yeah, no casual Shadow Poisons coming out. Shadow Demon will rotate his way up, and no, DDC just putting some wards down. Not too suspicious. It is the tree down in the bottom lane, trying to soak up some solo experience, sitting level 4 right now. There will be a smoke from Dreamtime. Super as well as Air, looking for the wraparound.
Yeah, and they really need to make something happen here. It's about to be nighttime. He's going to be able to pop Darkness as well immediately to extend it a little bit. But Night Stalker is a hero that you need to snowball on. Otherwise, you are screwed. And, oh, DD's going to make it out of here.
Yeah, he just TP's home. A great play. They will be able to get a tower out of this, but TPing as he did, sort of baiting around, pulling their forces forward. There's the Darkness pop, as you mentioned, to try and extend that nighttime. They will be able to TP mid if they're so inclined. They have won the tower race thus far. Yep, they will TP to the tier 2 tower. Dreamy U trying to line up a potential Epi. They do pop the Glyph. Rabbit with a double damage root on. There's your Epi channeling. Blinks at the ready. He comes in, Burrow Strike off the mark, and just tickles DDC. It's a whiffed Epicenter. Air does get slowed up. Demonic Purge comes out. Tower gets denied at the top by the Lifestealers. XDD won't get that one, and the mid tower falls to the Marana. So it is not a good trade for Dreamtime.
Yeah, and man, that was a good effort by Dreamy U, but just a little bit too late. Marana was too quick on the leap, not able to initiate there.
I think Marana kind of saw that one coming.
Oh yeah, she knew. Like she was wiggling back and forth, trying not to make it too easy for a setup there. And nice play by the Marana.
Yeah,
top
absolutely.
lane.
XDD, he'll get X'd, and there's a Moonlight Shadow inbound. They should have enough damage to bring him down. Morphing Strength. Waveforms into the trees, and TP's home. The arrow, not enough mana for it. Ouch, that hurts. That would have been a kill if Rabbit had the mana, I think, but
I wonder if
will survive.
They need like a silence or a hex or something. They really don't have a great way to deal with this Morphling. Really, all they have is an arrow, and I guess X is okay, but I think you can waveform disjoint it. So
yeah,
they need to figure out some way to deal with this Morphling. Otherwise, he's going to be a big issue. I wonder if he's going to be going for the Lincolns. It seems like it's a fine item here.
Yeah, DT will do a 3-man smoke as they rotate down bottom. Looks like they want to go for DD once again. He's just about to hit level 6. And they will connect with the Burrow Strike to start things off. Air comes down. Easy kill on the tree, so they'll grab at least 1 kill in this second night here that we're about halfway through. And Air just going for a BKB. Has himself an Ogre Club. Now, they don't have a lot to deal with this Morphling, but Mirana is really starting to snowball. Rabbit is #1 on the net worth by a huge margin. 7.2k compared to the 4.8 of the Night Stalker. And with that, LGD will smoke up, rotate towards the top lane. XDD is hanging out up here, but positioned very defensively inside the trees.
Yeah, and this Mirana is going to become a huge issue. I did not realize how farm she was. 84 CS, 2 kills, has most of the Lincolns, well, not most, but around half of the Lincolns done with the Perseverance, and this Midas is really great when you're this far ahead. It's just going to continue the advantage here, continue the level. She's sitting on top of that as well, so things going really well for this Mirana.
Yes, sir. DT still grouped up about the mid lane. There is an epicenter available if Dreamy U wants to try and perhaps line something up. XDD quells the push in the top lane, and oh, here we go. Initiation comes as they ping it out. Dreamy U starts it off with the Burrow Strike. There's your Chain Frost, and that'll be a dead Admiral to get things going. Kunkka goes back down to Davy Jones' locker. Arrow flies through, won't connect with anyone. Now DT looking for the reinitiation here. And Burrow Strike off the mark. Beautiful leap from Rabbit just in the nick of time. Now they'll turn around on a Dreamy U. Open wounds, secure that one, and that makes it a 1-for-1. Kunkka for Sand King.
I think that was avoidable. They had silence on Night Stalker. That was really unfortunate. It screwed up everything.
Yeah, I feel like DT just aren't getting enough out of these Knights. Night Stalker's still farming okay. It's about a 750 gold lead, 1,000 experience lead for DT. So they are still finding better farm as a team, despite this Mirana getting a little out of control. But Night Stalker, he's holding his own. He's slow and steady right now. But
okay.
He's not really balling. Yeah, I think he needs to be.
I wonder if he's going to pop Darkness here and try to extend the night a little longer. Doesn't look like he's going to.
Yeah,
and that basically means that I think he's just conceding that this night is basically over. He hasn't really gotten too much. Going to save it in case there's a good opportunity for a free kill. But he's going to be going for this BKB, which will give him some game against the Mirana, help him against the Kunkka quite a bit. The biggest problem is that the only really good gank target is Shadow Demon. Trine is okay as well, but Mirana has been really on top of the leaps, not letting them get in range for that silence, which does have a rather short range.
Yes, that is a very good point. Tree, now level 6, actually doesn't skill Overgrowth. This is an interesting tree build. Goes for that value point in Nature's Guise, a 1-2-3 at level 6. Really don't see that too frequently.
Yeah, that's weird.
He's working on his mech. DT will smoke up, move into the Radiant Ancients. They put down an Observer. They scout him out. Lichy opens up with the slow onto Yao. There's your waveform forward. Connects, and we'll finish off Kunkka. Arrow does hit air. There's your Overgrowth coming out, and they will pop a dust as Moonlight Shadow gets deployed. No damage to follow up the Overgrowth. You're exactly right, Gregor. They'll get the kill onto the Treant. Now DDC on the run. Epicenter from Dreamy U. And it's another whiff. It will clip him a little bit, but the Burrow Strike will be there. They'll secure that one. Meanwhile, on the other side of the fight, Rabbit, Lin, the only two left alive. Arrow connects onto air. Dreamy U's out of mana, but that won't stop him from doing a little bit of that Sandstorm action. Rabbit taking heavy damage as the Night Stalker joins the party. Waveform forward. This could be a complete team wipe. Moonlight Shadow deployed. Infest, and XDD will just TP home, but oh, he gets X'd back. Kunkka will connect with the boat. He's hungry for vengeance. Arrow flying through, and they will finish him off. Mirana had to buy back to make that one possible. And DT, they get the better of that exchange. It's a 1-for-4, and Mirana had to buy back.
Yeah, and that fight was a perfect example of what they have against Morphling, which is basically nothing. While you were following the kill top, they use so many abilities on Morphling right over here on the hill. And he was just able to strength morph up and just walk away, come back into the fight, and it took a buyback to kill him, and that is just not great.
Yeah, much needed kill. I guess the buyback was worth it for Marana.
It's probably worth it.
One of those kind of break
ideal.
even. Yeah, it's early on, so it doesn't cost him that much gold, and he's far enough ahead with the Midas that slowing down the momentum of the Morphling, I think you can make a strong case for it.
I think
but
it's okay.
just showing how far behind, or how far LGD fell behind in that fight. Kunkka once again gets initiated upon in the mid lane. Burrow Strike, Frost Nova, and they'll take him down pretty low. The Torrent will be off the mark. Living Armor helps pick him back up, and he'll be okay. Had a haste rune in the bottle anyway, so never really in too much danger. In July now has a mech, and XDD takes an arrow as he TPs up top.
Morphs. Easy.
Pretty ridiculous. Replicate comes out onto the Morphling, waveform forward.
That was arrow double Starstorm, and he is fine.
Yeah. Dreamy U now. He gets torrented. There is a haste rune out. Burrow Strike back. The boat will be off the money, but won't be enough to keep him alive as they throw down the Sentry Ward. Now LGD regaining some momentum here. Lin on a killing spree, which is good news. We're kind of counting out that lifesteal a little bit in the offlane earlier on, but he's made a decent recovery here. He's right middle of the pack in net worth.
I'm impressed that worked so well. I mean, I guess
he's got an armlet. Holy Toledo.
He's really farmed, and that pull works really well for him. And he's also picked up a couple of kills, has decent CS, and he's sitting at 4th in the net worth. Marana's still leading the way with that Midas, and well, we'll see if the Night Stalker and the Morphling can make enough of an impact here in the second night. Air should have his, there it is, finished up. His BKB is finished for the second night, so this is go time for DT. There's a time when you have to decide you want to win the game, and for DT, that time is probably in this next night.
You gotta want it, Greg. If you don't want it, you're never gonna get it.
Yeah, they do have the Morphling as backup, but he's just gonna get stomped by the farm of the Marana as well as the Lifestealer if they don't have a decent advantage heading to the mid game if LGD choose to pressure with their lineup here.
Yeah, and DT still holding on to a gold lead, about 1,000 in their favor, 2,200 experience going their way as well. And looking at total towers, they've knocked down 2, and they have lost 2 of their own. So towers are leveled out, and Dreamtime are still holding on to a nice lead here. It's level 10 up on the Dark Seer. Has himself an Ogre Club following that early mech pickup. So it looks like BKB will be his next item of choice. And I like that he got an early point in Wall of Replica. This has kind of been a debated ability where some Dark Seers like it at level 6, others wait till level 10 to get that first skill point. But the static 150 damage, I think, makes it a valuable pickup even at level 6.
Yeah, and a hero that's having a lot of issues this game is Kunkka. He's missed a couple combos. He's not that farmed. Looks like he is probably going to be building towards a BKB as well. But things are just not really working out for this Kunkka pick. He's actually put 4 points in X, which is a little weird. I don't like that too much. It makes it way harder to land the combo without too much additional value. So
yeah, I don't know if Yao has played a lot of Kunkka, but he doesn't seem to be quite on point with the combos. Like you said, a lot of Kunkkas prefer that 3 points and X marks the spot, and you usually don't see that 4th point at least well into the later portion of the game. Yeah, you're right. He hasn't really been on point with these combos, and he's also just been susceptible to a lot of these ganks. He's been picked on a little bit here. Morphling will replicate down to the bottom and try and stop Marana from taking out this tier 1 tower. Meanwhile, the rest of his team all grouped up around the mid, perhaps looking to take a team fight. We are in the middle of a night, or actually the beginning of the 3rd night,
and it looks like Yao has never played Kunkka in unofficial before. So
really,
yeah.
And that's not you failing with the alphabet. That is real. That is official. Yeah, nothing.
I think so. I think he's just got nothing.
No data available. Yeah, that's usually a sign. So, all right. LGD rolling the dice a little bit here, and I think it really does show. He hasn't been playing super poorly, but his combos definitely have not been
awful.
crisp.
It's not like he's feeding or anything. It just hasn't gone that well.
We'll see right here. He will X, and okay, gets BKB'd. That's a 10-second BKB right there for just an X.
I think they probably could have just initiated on that.
It's nighttime, bro. Yeah.
They had Sand King and Lich right there. They could have let him get X back, charge the Epi, Frost Splat, or Frost Chain Frost? Frost Fuck it, dude.
Yeah, throw the Frost Chains at him.
Got him.
Oh,
I think they probably could have just reinitiated on that. Oh, arrow just misses XCD bottom and
feels the breeze. X
does not have waveform.
Into Torrent. See, again, it's off the mark. Oh, man. XDD may still fall right here. Morphing Strength does waveform over the tree line. Support is inbound, but not close enough, and Shadow Demon will get a kill.
5 heroes attacking him, and at that point, you just have to determine probably okay for him. I mean, They need to get air moving. He's going to be going for the Ags. So this has been the more popular build in China that I've seen lately. It gives you a ton of vision, but again, this is another item that says we are going to try to win in the mid game, and if we don't, well, we might have a Morphling to sort of bring us late, but they really don't want to rely on just that Morphling because Lich falls off pretty hard. Chain Frost is okay with Vacuum, but in the late game, it would just come down to Darkseer, Morphling, Sand King, which is not a bad trio to have trying to secure you, but Kunkka scales very well, Lifestealer scales decently well, and Mirana scales very well.
Tower
you need to be
under
careful
attack.
there.
Absolutely. Bottom tier 1 tower under heavy pressure. DT will opt to use the glyph, and it appears they do want to make a defense. Now Assange up on the Lifestealer. Looks like he'll just go Armlet into SNY. Pretty good build. And Night Stalker does secure the deny. DT will not force the issue, and they will just back up to safety.
I think they need to force the issue. I mean,
I agree.
We're in darkness right now, and Air is just not doing anything.
Yeah.
I think he just walks around with Sand King and tries to get kills. They're all grouped up here bottom, but...
Uh-oh, Moonlight Shadow.
I mean, they have Epi Chain Frost. Just fight them.
Yeah, they are a little cooldown reliant, but when you have those big ultimates up, you're right, just take a team fight. That's your time to shine. Drop the hammer, as it were. Lich is pretty close to level 11, just at the beginning of level 10, so the level 2 Chain Frost is coming online before too long. Mech has been completed on the Treant Protector, so there is a mech on both sides of the coin. The Moonlight Shadow from LGD will be rendered unsuccessful, but... yeah, I don't know. I don't really think DT have the late game advantage, as you were talking about. LGD have plenty of powerful heroes in the late game in terms of scaling with items.
Yeah, Mirana takes a lot of farm to scale well, but she certainly has it.
Yeah, with that Midas, it's just going to get worse from here. Now has her Lincolns complete, so still not hitting hard, but Rabbit is definitely a bit tankier.
Makes it so a little less damage from air. If he tries to go on her, he's going to have to use Void to break the Lincolns before he can use the Silence, and that might be enough time for her to leap out. So that's a great item in this game. It's always a good item because the utility of Lincolns, now that you can put it on another hero, is pretty much always something you can use, but particularly good this game against that Night Stalker.
Yep, definitely right about that. Now Lincoln's up on Morphling, so pretty much on point with the Mirana. In terms of timing, Replicate.
Oh, he almost just Overgrowth for that.
Yep. Oh, wow. They'll even exit. And it got leech seeded. That's a value Replicate right there.
Yeah, the Replicants are really annoying. It's really hard to tell if
really
those are real.
It really is. And a good Morphling will do plays like that and try and bait around and get your opponents to waste some of those cooldowns. Nothing too big was wasted, but still being a bit cheeky there. You see Air on the high ground, Invisibility Rune on, ready to initiate. Darkseer coming in July, looking for the opening. There's your Epicenter Burrow Strike. They will get the defensive disruption off on the tree. He will be able to get the Overgrowth coming out, pops his mech as well. Sand King first to go down. Tree goes down shortly after and actually doesn't have the Overgrowth. Roche helping out with the ping pong of the Chain Frost, not enough for a kill. They will pursue forward. Yao, the target of choice. They're trying to chomp him down, but they'll about face. Instead, they'll turn for the Mirana. Leap coming up now. He is silenced, but Lincolns will help keep him alive. Negative Urn will try and hop to the high ground. He'll survive.
Wow.
Well played by Rabbit. They even put down a sentry.
He tried to vacuum for it too. Man, that was super impressive play. He played that one. He just mapped that entire situation out, and it was a small probability that he gets out of there, but he definitely played that one pretty much perfect. And DT did not get as much done in that team fight as they wanted. In July and the Sand King were just not on the same page whatsoever, and that's a huge issue. You really want to use Vacuum into Burrow Strike to win you those early team fights. It's so good before they have BKBs, and they just were not able to use it.
Yeah, and this is another one of these games where Dreamy Q, I don't like to single him out, but the Epis just haven't been on point. We've seen 3 of them now where, you know, it's tickled a little bit. It did a lot of damage to the tree, but they couldn't bring him down. The defensive disruption was there from the Shadow Demon. And DD was able to get off the mech, didn't gland the Overgrowth before he died, but now he'll have it available for this upcoming team fight. As it appears, LGD will press the issue. Tier 2 still standing in the mid, no glyph available. Frost Armor from Lich helping out, but only does so much to quell the push. Arrow flies through. We'll scout things out, but won't connect with anyone.
And now LGD are just kind of slow sieging here, trying to knock down a couple towers. They are getting worried about this Morphling. He's starting to build up towards his next item. Looks like Mirana is going to be going for Desolator next. This is a really aggressive pickup, and normally we even see like a Yasha or something first, but I like this a lot. This is a really good item to help kill the weaker supports. Lich does not have a lot of HP, neither does Sand King, And, well, in case there is an AC at any point, it's going to be good against that as well. Air going to stop for the Aghanims first, but AC is definitely in the realm of possibility if this game goes ultra late.
Yeah, and Desolator's kind of an interesting item against Morphling. When he's Agi-morphed, obviously the minus armor isn't that huge, but what does a Morphling do when he's starting to take damage? Well, that Panic morph into Strength, and that lowers his armor, so the Desolator does even more damage. So it does do well to just kind of reduce the effectiveness of morphing Strength as he tries to get away. Desolator will be completed, and I just like that synergy of maybe not synergy isn't the right word, but the counterbalance of Linken's and Desolator. One very defensive, and one is just all-out raw damage, absolutely no stats. So Rabbit finding that happy medium of a good bit of survivability, but also packing quite a punch, now hitting for over 200 per auto attack.
Yeah, and this is a really great progress from Mirana, and it's pre-30 minutes, and she has 2 huge items with that Midas, and we'll see if LGD can figure out something here to maybe get another tier 2. It's daytime now. DT not doing that well. Air hasn't died, but he certainly has not made the impact that you really hope to see. And honestly, that doesn't just come down to him. His teammates have sort of failed him a little bit in that regard. So, BKB actually for Darkseer.
Uh-oh. They scout out the Sand King. He tries to line up the ultimate, but can't find the right position. Ultimate from Air popped. Now, procs the Linken's on Rabbit. They will stop the push from LGD, but they won't be able to grab any kills out of this. Their tower survives, but I feel like they need to start taking some team fights. They need some kills to make this rotation worth it.
Yeah, they popped Darkness for that too.
Yeah, it is a 5-man rotation from LGD. They will retreat, and this would be okay for DT if they had the late game lineup with the carry advantage, but as we've talked about, I don't think that they do. And especially with this Night Stalker, 2-0 and 6 in 30 minutes, that's just not very much. They will find DDC, Burrow Strike on the mark, but he'll be all right. He scoots back to safety as he did pick up the Haster, and now Arrow connects onto Air. Desolator.
Look how much damage he does.
Lay in the damage, and they even get a ward out of it. Oh, DT, they just can't find a favorable exchange here.
Yeah, and I don't like this game if it comes down to Morphling versus the World. I mean, they're going to have, like I said, the Burrow and Vacuum, but with this BKB pickup, In July isn't going to have the positioning that we see from, like, the Blink Darkseer, like Universe has been playing. And that's really the playmaking version of the Darkseer. This BKB one is a bit more utility. Honestly, it doesn't matter too much what happens to your Darkseer if he gets a good back wall off, because you probably won the fight, especially when you have a Sand King with Burrow Strike and Epi and a Morphling waveform over all of it. And they even have Chain Frost too, so I really don't like this BKB pickup. I mean, it's not even that good. Like, you deal with Kunkka, I guess, but Kunkka's probably not going to be initiating on the Darkseer.
I wouldn't be too afraid of a Kunkka. That's another fail boat there in the mid lane, but yeah, I agree. I think BKB on the Darkseer is worth it most of the time because he is a high priority target that teams will focus down. If you just go Blink first, they'll prioritize you as you blink in, but a pretty clutch Darkseer can wait till the initiation happens or find them and catch them off guard, Blink Vacuum, and like you said, after that, Darkseer dies, so be it. He's already done his job by pulling the opposition into an odd position here. So, well, for now, LGD are not going to have too easy a time breaking the high ground. So in July, we'll have time to farm up a Blink before this game ends, I think. With that, though, LGD will move straight into the Roche Pit, taking it down very quickly with that Desolator. DT could still contest, but no, they won't get in position in time.
Yeah, and honestly, DT's lineup seems a little split for me. I mean, you have this Morphling with a super mid-game lineup. Doesn't really make sense to me. I mean, maybe something like Luna or something might fit a little bit better. I know a lot of the China teams really like Morphling because of the mobility he has in farming and split pushing, but it just doesn't really seem to be working out that well for them. It doesn't synergize with the rest of their lineup, and he basically just has to waveform in and hope they can't kill him.
BKB is now up on Kunkka, so still a 10-second charge, hasn't popped it quite yet. He has a little more survivability, not that scary hard-hitting Kunkka with like a Shadow Blade into Daedalus or even a Battle Fury that we've seen, but still gives him a lot of survivability. About a 4,000 gold lead for LGD, but Dreamtime are the ones holding on to the experience edge here, just about 3,500 in their favor. So they're losing towers left and right, but they are still finding better farm around the map as a team. That doesn't stop Rabbit from balling out of control, furthering his edge. Dreamy U channeling the Epi, hops forward, Burrow Strike will be on the money this time, cutting through that living armor of Rabbit. That procs the Aegis, but out comes the Overgrowth. This time the boat connects, finishes off the Sand King. Darkseer throws the wall. Chain Frost bouncing around. There's the vacuum back, but do they have the damage to secure these kills? Air now pops his BKB, comes around the backside. LGD in full retreat mode. They've already lost their Shadow Demon. Rabbit will get chopped down. One more auto attack. Nope, the leap disjoints it. They ping him out. Air looking for him, and there you go. They'll finally find him. And it looks like that wall will be enough to secure even more kills here. Jesus. That Desolator debuff from the Mirana illusion coming in handy.
Yeah, that was the only illusion he actually moved. The rest of them are sitting there, but it might be enough. And oh, now this Lifestealer is taking a lot of damage.
I think he's dead here.
Dead.
Yeah, he'll try and TP out, but yeah, that's not happening. Plenty of damage to bring him down. So DT finally find a favorable fight. No buybacks burned there. And, well,
yeah, that was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't an amazing fight, but it definitely went their way in the end with the loss of that Lifestealer. And the Epicenter was a bit better. Still not really what you want to see.
Yeah.
He really only hit the Mirana with it. But
yeah, that is the high priority target.
Yeah, that's the hero you want to kill because she's so farmed. She's doing all the damage. Yeah. So, if you only hit one hero, that's fine with it.
Yeah, exactly. If you're only going to hit one hero, that's the hero you're going to hit. And, well, we saw the power of Darkseer right there. He is another hero that scales very well into the late game. He has picked up another item here. And what is it? Mr. Darkseer, is that a Ghost Scepter for you? No, in July. What is he going for here? Oh, it's a Plate Mail. Okay. So Shiva's coming out next, I guess, for him. Again, not a bad item on the Darkseer, but I feel like the Blink is almost a necessity.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm torn at this point. I mean,
that was a decent wall without Blink, to be fair, but it just makes it easier, and it gives them more initiation power.
XCD is going to be going for Shotgun next. He is very close to having it just sold an item. Going to go kill a couple creep camps, and that will be finished up. So
that's pretty big, actually.
That could actually with that they might be able to shut down Mirana in the late game. Obviously, keeps her from auto attacking, and now I think the pressure might actually be on LGD to move along here, even with Air. Just, I mean, he honestly at this point 3-0 and 8. He's been involved in a couple more kills. He's at this point I think done his duty, and now it's going to come down to the Morphling as well as the Sand King and Darkseer to deliver.
Yeah, he's now level 16, so has that level 3 ultimate available, and of course he has the Egg Scepter complete, so getting all that beautiful vision. Look at that mini-map. Oh yeah, nobody's sneaking up on this sneaky Night Stalker, at least not while he's on duty. So Air having a reasonably good game. I think he might have been a little bit passive earlier on. They probably could have found a little bit more in that early to mid game, but here 36 minutes in, still yet to concede a death. That is a feat of strength for sure. LGD get pinged out as they're going for the Ancients here. Rabbit cancel casting that era, doing the pump, that arrow. Oh man, been talking about fat era too much. Pump faking the sacred arrow. But no, won't go for it. And
well,
yep.
I'm starting to feel like LGD need to get the move on here. I think it's 36 minutes. This is entering the later parts of the game. Ultra late, I think Morphling will probably be able to deal with this Mirana. And, well, we'll see if they can make it happen here. The Lifestealer has been okay for them, but the problem is that he can't really set up big plays. They don't really have a big... I mean, Kunkka's supposed to be that hero, and it's just... It's not really been there.
Yeah, it definitely has not worked out for them on that front. He's had a couple of okay-ish boats, but hasn't had any of those huge setups quite yet. The Lifestealer, I think, is what's going to be scary as this game continues for DT. He has that S&Y as well as the armament that we mentioned. Hyperstone already, so Assault Cross will be his next item of choice. And eventually that Lifestealer will come online, and you'll have to pick one or the other, Lifestealer or Mirana, and the one that you're not locking down and killing will be doing a lot of damage to your team. LGD will 5-man smoke. You see a lot of lines on the minimap as they will move through. They'll bump right into the Night Stalker. Rabbit in the front lines. Throws the arrow, will be off the mark, throws out a right click onto In July. Meanwhile, the rest of his team going down bottom. The boat comes in, does connect onto 2, finishes off the Lich. Now they'll go for XDD. He waveforms to the high ground. He'll be okay for now, and LGD stuck in the river. Will DT go in? Yeah, there's In July. Connects with the vacuum wall. Big epicenter this time. That'll finish off Tran and Lifestealer to get things started. The rest of LGD in big trouble. They're dropping like flies. Rabbit will grab another kill onto the Sand King, but now he's in trouble. Leaps up to the high ground. Whoa, what a leap from the kitty. Still gets interrupted. Whoa, an adaptive strike. Rabbit will fall, and Shadow Demon, he'll be the lone survivor. That's a 2 for 4. The Darkseer setting it all up. That epicenter. This time, it's on the money.
Yeah, DT delivers in that team fight in a huge way. And again, they spend so much to try to kill this Morphling, and They just can't do it, man. They just cannot kill him consistently. He is 8-3-5 with that shotgun online, another 3,000 gold after that disastrous team fight for LGD, and I think now things are going to be moving back in the way of DT.
Yeah, absolutely. They finally finish off that tier 1 tower mid, and that is huge. That's that big access point to Roche for the Radiant side. LGD have been defending it more so than the other tier 1s that fell, and now they won't be able to contest Roche quite so easily if DT opt to move into the pit. Double damage rune down bottom. Looks like it might get picked up by the Morphling here to fill up his bottle. He already has another 4,000 gold following that E-Blade pickup, so XDD is officially online here. We see the gold graph almost zeroed out, and experience way in favor of Dreamtime, about 10,000.
And Yao, he only has 282 GPM on this Kunkka, and that is just...
What is this?
Not where you want.
This Kunkka item build is, I hesitate to say,
awful.
Dumpster. It's bad.
Yeah, this is pretty dumpster.
BKB into Sanj is just not... There's a reason people don't buy these items on Kunkka. Because it's not good. It just...
Yeah.
You know,
just
Shadow...
damage. Just get like a Chrysalis or
Shadow
something.
Blade crit is so much better. You get the I mean, I can understand why he wanted the BKB here. There's a lot of magic damage. That I don't think is so bad, but even going into a Shadow Blade now isn't too bad. It's one of the better... Like, Kunkka is one of the better carriers for it, even if it's not for the invisibility, just so you get that extra damage on Tidebringer. It's just ridiculous. And then the crit, even a Battle Fury, is amazing on Kunkka. We spent some time earlier on talking about how bad Sanj is as a casual item, and SNY, not really a core item on Kunkka.
SNY is, like, not good on this hero.
And even if it's a Halberd coming out,
that doesn't seem very good either.
Not bad, but yeah, not really great. Let the Lifestealer get it. You know, let the tree get it for Christ's
I mean,
sake.
Halberd's not even that good against Morphling. Like, he spends half his time in fights in ethereal form when he can't attack anyway. So
yeah, dumpster Reno.
Yeah, this is not LGD are not doing it for me in this game, man. They had a really great first game against IG, and from there on out, things have not really worked out for them.
I don't really understand the experimenting with Kunkka in a competitive game like this. You know, WPC is no slouch of an event, and it's one thing if you've been practicing your Kunkka and you're working on this pocket strat, but it doesn't really seem like Yao's been practicing his Kunkka all that much. We haven't seen really any epic combos. He's missed a lot of the torrents, and this item build just makes me wonder why they opted to roll the dice here with a hero that they're obviously not so comfortable with.
Yeah, and oh man, this Mirana, I can feel the pressure on her shoulders at this point. She is just gonna have to really figure something out here, and Lifestealer as well. And oh my God, Morphling's got a Scotty. Well, he is full agi and has 1,800 health.
Yep. As Roland likes to say, game was good.
Yeah, game was good. This is when Roland would turn the lights on.
Yeah, I mean, look at the net worth. Now, Mirana only 1,500 up on the Morphling. And, of course, Mirana does have a Hand of Midas. So she has now picked up a BKB. She's had it for a little while. Already used that 10-second charge. But the gap is closing. And now D-Tier looking to be in good shape. Roche falling very quickly here. Morphling just soloing it as the rest of his team are stationed around the pit. Roche will go down. Oh, he gets bashed. There we go. Arrow flies in. He picks up the Aegis. And...
I don't know how LGD are going to fight this now.
Yeah.
Like, Scotty is so good against Lifestealer. It slows through his rage, makes it so easy to kite him. He does have an S and Y in phase, but does not... I don't think that's going to be enough, and they're really going to be relying on Yao here, who in the past hasn't delivered too well. They're not really in a position where... I mean, I think the good thing they have going for them is if the Kunkka combo is on, DT's going to have to activate their BKBs, and... At that point, they have overgrowth to stop them and hold them in place. So there's a chance maybe there's enough physical damage to bring them down. But at the same time, this Morphling might just poop all over him, dude.
Yeah, you're right. It may be a shit show. This Morphling is at critical mass, though. I think he is just... He's not too big yet, but he's getting there very quickly. They're already having trouble dealing with him.
Yeah, and this Scotty is going to be backbreaking, I think.
Yeah, I think so as well. Sand King has now picked up a 4-staff, so no Angs, no Veil of Discord. He has plenty of room for growth in terms of damage output. He will go into a Ghost Scepter now, so going a much more defensive Sand King build rather than going aggressive with more damage items. Night Stalker, though, he grabs the Assault Cuirass, and there's your Shivas out on the Darkseer. So more big items being completed on the side of Dreamtime, and furthering my expectations for this upcoming team fight. 2,000 gold in their favor, now 12,000 experience. they have definitely regained the momentum here, and I don't know, what do LGD do at this point?
They need a really good initiation with. I think they need a pick off on a key hero and then a good Kunkka initiation. Without that, I'm not sure they're gonna have the team fight ability to just do anything here. And with the Aegis as well for XDD, things are gonna be hard. They're smoked up, walking through. They want to kill this Mirana. She might be able to pop a BKB. She doesn't have leap.
She just used it.
Oh my god. Run at her.
Oh no. They'll burn the darkness here. She knows that trickery is afoot. Air comes in. She'll just try and BKB, TP out. Will it be enough? No.
Chain Frost, easy game.
Oh, there you go. Well done, Super. Yeah, there's that superior mini stun. Cuts through the BKB, interrupts the TP. Easy kill on the Mirana. She's in the grave for 75 seconds. Does have a buyback available, but she did.
Yeah, that was really bad. DT maybe are going to be looking to push high ground here. They have the Aegis. Is there buyback on the Mirana? Yes.
Yes, there is. So it's not that bad for LGD. They still have some hope. She has 4,000 gold still. That is the one hero you really don't want to get picked off. They'll just go hard on this tier 2 tower. This is with backdoor protection. Morphling's just chunking it down. The living armor will buy it a little bit of time, but yeah, this tower will fall. Whoa! Shotgun on the Shadow Demon. I didn't really catch that. It was a little bit too quick there from XDD.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of damage. I bet that hero just got one shot between the... He has less than 1,000 HP. That's just shotgun territory with Adaptive Strike. And
oh yeah, baby. There's your buyback on the Shadow Demon. Mirana trying to hold on to hers. They'll pop the glyph, and this is that time where 15 seconds left after 75. You really don't want to buy back unless you absolutely have to. 10 seconds. It'll cost them this tier 3 tower. I think... No, DT will just back out. They don't want to tango with the Mirana. Wow, I'm a little bit surprised. They could have done a lot more damage there.
Yeah, they still have the Aegis. They had a lot of ults still. They didn't have Chain Frost, I guess.
They don't have Chain Frost, but they've got Epicenter, they've got Wall. I think they could have committed to finishing off that tier 3 tower. And the big reason that I think they should have is because of Living Armor. That's just wasted damage now. Well, not the end of the world. Still, they get 2 free kills out of it, so kind of splitting hairs.
I agree. I think they also probably could have pressed that a little bit harder, but it looks like they're instead going to go the safer route, go down bottom, take down the last tier... Oh my god, I did the same thing I did yesterday. The last tier 2 in that lane, there was only one.
Yeah.
Only one tier 2 per lane, but they're going to take this down and just try to establish better map control. This gives them better control over Roshan, and, well, they also have decent... Wow, this is a nice observer ward up here as well, so... They've got good map control at this point.
Yep, definitely. We'll take a gander at the Dire Vision there, and this is actually a really key ward with this top tier 2 tower. Will soon be the last outer tower standing for LGD, so we'll give them control around that crucial area of the map. And Morphling is just going to chunk down this tier 2 in the bottom. Easy peasy for XDD. That now pushes him to 5.5k gold following that Scotty pickup. So I'm not sure what he's going to go next. A Manta.
Manta's pretty good.
Would have been good. I mean, Manta's one of those items you almost want to get it a little bit earlier.
It's still fine here. It's, I mean, it's going to give him good ability to just send the illusions up to the high ground. He can even make a replicant of another hero and just send all of those up and just start blowing up towers.
That's true. I don't think Manta's ever really bad.
Yeah, exactly.
It's more one of those. It's one of the earlier items that once you get 6 slotted, that would be one of the ones that you'd want to start replacing. So
he just buys out a BKB.
He'll just go BKB straight up, and still has plenty of gold left for buyback. So XDD, he's rolling in the monies. He's now surpassed the Mirana, and she's just continuing on. Now picked up a Daedalus, so her farm is still looking pretty solid.
She needs Manta too.
Yeah, definitely. Morphling is a little bit scarier than a Mirana with equal farm, though. That's for sure.
Especially at this point in the game. I mean, yeah, the single target kill potential on Morphling at this point is basically anyone on the team. So they're all going to have to be very careful, and looks like they're just going to forfeit this tier 2 tower, and I'm not too surprised. The high ground's the only chance really to make their defense, I think.
Yeah, even Darkness popped here by Air, and that will deter LGD from wanting to make any kind of a defense. Air also carrying a gem, so they now have a tool to deal with the Moonlight Shadow. Aegis reclaimed in 5 seconds. DT won't have it for this push up to the high ground. But honestly, I don't think they really need the Aegis to take a successful team fight. They have 5,000 gold, 14,000 experience in their favor, and this Morphling is a beefcake.
Just morphing Agi in the middle of their base. Whatever, dude.
He gets stunned up, now going into strength. Follow-up coming. Overgrowth from the tree will help set things up, but Treant falls. Lich with a big ulti bouncing around. He will fall to the power of the boat, but LGD, they just don't have the damage. Mirana tries to leap back to safety. Chain Frost still bouncing around like mad. Mirana gets vacuumed back, and DT just cleaning it up. They have a lot of low health heroes here. They will try to make the retreat. Air getting dangerously low. He gets surged. He'll make it back to safety. So it's only a 2-for-1 after all that. No buyback burn by LGD. So
convincing fight, though, I think, for DT.
Yeah.
I mean, again, the Morphling just runs amok when he starts morphing strength. And
that was without Epicenter as well.
Exactly, yeah. That was a really botched engagement by DT. The Burrow Strike did not follow up the Vacuum, and they didn't even get the Epi. So I think DT will be able to win a team fight pretty convincingly if they can actually get a proper initiation.
Is going straight into Satanic. Has a Helm of the Dominator, so of course lifesteal on the field. Oh boy, he's just tanking up, and in July looks like he'll be working towards a Scythe of Ice with an ultimate orb. DT just continuing their item progression. They're in absolutely no hurry. They could even wait it out for third Roche if they were so inclined. We'll see. Wait, is that pulsing red?
That's the random.
Is that the random part? Or is that just showing us that that is where it will spawn in the random?
That's the random part. Completely. That entire thing just means that that's the random part.
Right. Okay. So it's basically it's just showing us that
that's where 8
only using
ends.
11 out of 12. Is that basically what this is showing us? That there is an extra hour on the clock?
I don't know.
Oh boy.
This new clock sucks.
I never noticed the pulsating red until just now. So this is it's like learning how to tell time all over again.
Not something you want to do.
Yeah. Oh, it will be a fast respawn, though. 1:05. So that will benefit DT a little bit. Of course, it's third Roche as we're approaching the 50-minute mark. So
a lot of Ghost Scepters on the side of DT.
Aegis and Cheese, yeah.
Really smart pickups here. Both the Sand King and the Lich have it. All the damage pretty much at this point for LGD is physical. As long as they don't Ghost into Boat combo, that would be a bit unfortunate. But, you know, Kunkka physical, Mirana physical, Lifestealer physical. So those are really good pickups of well-spent 1,600 gold. And, well, looks like at this point, I think this is probably going to be a Halberd for Air. It could be a Butterfly, but that's not exactly a Night Stalker item. It's probably a Halberd.
Probably a Halberd, I think. Yeah, I haven't seen a Butterfly on Night Stalker, but it's the first time for everything. It's not the worst item ever. It does up his EHP, gives him a little bit of extra damage, but I think the Halberd is definitely more likely, and actually just a little more useful here, to be perfectly frank. Plenty of heroes that the Disarm is quite potent on. They will get a counter ward, though. Compliments of that gem. Super getting some unlucky misses uphill. Rabbit loses his Lincolns, and Roche has officially respawned. Replicate on the Sand King. Does get scouted out by DT. They'll move right into the pit. They'll just rinse and repeat like last time. Put the Morphling in the pit, let him solo down Roche, and station the rest of the team outside. Dreamy U will get hit by an arrow from downtown, and now they'll actually go to pursue onto this. They want to try and finish him off. He takes pretty heavy damage. They'll be on point. Boat flies through. BKB's popped on both sides with the Morphling just going hard. In comes the Vacuum. They'll finish off the Shadow Demon as he gets shotgunned down. Load him up. That's the buckshot. Godlike streak for XDD. They're just cutting him down. See you later, Lifestealer. A triple kill for XDD. Double buybacks coming. Darkseer will finish off the Treant from behind. Now Rabbit trying to leap to safety. Will get silenced. They'll pursue. And that's Scotty debuff.
Doesn't look good.
You're not getting away from this one. Yao comes in, doesn't have a boat available, and it's a dieback for the Kunkka, I think. DT perhaps just moments from securing this game. He'll get vacuumed back there.
Don't even need to use the shotgun.
Nowhere for him to go, and yeah, shotgun's available, but they save it for another day. GG, well played from LGD. Third Roche doesn't even go down. DT take a favorable team fight.
Yeah, and honestly, again, that Morphling just went way too ham. The Mirana not nearly enough to scale them into the late game, and well, pretty good showing from Air. He was the hype player of the series, and pretty good. I mean, he did what he had to. It wasn't a crazy snowball game, but I don't know. He did everything I wanted him to do. Didn't die. Bought an Ags, gave them vision hacks with a gem.
Yeah, I think the 7-0-14 is the most impressive part. He was involved in a lot of kills.
And didn't die.
He was a little slow getting going, but not dying is... It's just impressive, and created a lot of space for that Morphling. Did take some of the heat in the mid-game, and XDD 13-3-9 to wrap things up. I don't know who's going to be the MVP that game, Greg, but just well played by DT.
Probably going to be XDD.
All right, you know, I think it's going to be the Night Stalker, so we'll see. I don't know exactly what metrics they use for the MVP, but I think the 0 deaths will count for a lot in terms of the award that they're giving out.
Air created enough space to really make it easy for Morphling to farm, and that comes down to the most important thing when you have a hero like that. They're basically, I mean, they're not playing 4 protect 1, they're playing 4 make space for 1.
Yeah.
And it worked pretty well. The Lich pick was a little sketcher. It didn't work too well, but Frost Blast and Vacuum is good just by itself. Gives a nice large slow. Sand King didn't really deliver that game, and it didn't seem to matter too much.
Yeah, I think it was more the gamble from Yao's Kunkka. LGD, as we
Yeah,
mentioned, they have yet to play Kunkka in a competitive game, and it really showed a very weird
This item build is awful.
And, oh, Greg, we should have bet, because it is Air, 7014 Night Stalker. He will be the MVP to take home some of that extra IRL cash. So there you go.
And, you know, before this game started, we were saying there's some value in these bets right here. And, well...
Yeah.
Did you get your bet off?
No, you have to. It's within 5 minutes, so it didn't happen.
Well, that's unfortunate. This would have been a good bet here, as well, DT take game 1 pretty convincingly. I mean,
we'll see
they
how
had
they
some
do
issues in the beginning of the game. Morano was free farming, but in the end, their free farmer was a bit better.
Yeah. So I don't know. BKB casual Sanj on Kong. It was just a casual Sanj as well. He ended up picking up Crystallis before the game ended.
That's
so
some ass build right
yeah,
there.
Sanj is just not a.
I mean,
not
it's
a good
damage
item.
on Kunkka, but
It's just crit is so much better. It's just better. There's no other way to put it. So we'll have a quick break here, guys. LGD versus DT Game 2 coming up next. Of course, I'm Zyora here, a local at BTS, and this here is What Is Hip. He's here for the TI4 qualifier coverage, but standing in for a little bit of WPC coverage tonight. So we'll be back after this short break, guys. Thank you for joining us. Don't go anywhere. Dota 2 resumes.